Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in. This is George Packard, and today we're going to talk about your lawn care business and knowing your numbers, okay? Knowing your numbers. Whether you're in lawn care, landscaping, an electrician, a plumber, pest control, or any other business really, you've got to know your numbers. I get this question asked me a lot. I'm going to try and explain to you guys exactly what that means today. I know people say it all the time, you have to know your numbers, you have to know your numbers. I'm going to try and elaborate the best I can on this to get you guys to understand. The reason I'm doing this is because I want you to succeed in your business, okay? As I go through these numbers, I want you to realize it's just an example. Everything I use here is an example. They may not be 100% accurate. You're going to have to use your numbers to determine whether or not you're profitable or if you think some things need improvement or whatnot. But I'm going to show you how you get to that point in this video. I'm going to show you your gross profit. I'm going to show you your negative. And at the end of the day, you're going to see, am I making money? And if so, am I making enough that I should stay in this business, or am I making enough I should move on? Or am I not making enough to where if I could see I'm only making a little bit an hour here, maybe I got to do something. Maybe I need to raise my prices. But you'll never know that if you don't know your numbers, okay? All right. That being said, knowing your numbers is where most companies get into trouble, and it eventually causes them to lose their businesses, okay? Here's what I mean. If you don't know them, you can be going in the hole or losing money, okay? What do I mean by numbers, okay? Your numbers are your cost to do business, okay? Gross profit, which basically is all the money that you make. You went out today, you did the work for your people, you come back in and you look at the end of the day and you say, oh man, I did 10 lawns at $10 a piece, so I made $100. That's just an example, okay? That's your gross. Now it's not your net. Your net profit is all the money you have left after paying your bills, okay? So on this side is what you grossed, on this side is what you netted, okay? You have a lot of expenses that went into that, okay? If you're a solo operator, you may not have some of these expenses, okay? But you still have expenses. No matter who you are and what you're doing, you still have expenses. I want to increase your awareness about this, and I'm going to do a little whiteboard demonstration to kind of help along here as we go. We'll see how this works out, all right? Let's use lawn care as an example. Let's use a 1 hour time frame. Now, we're going to write down all the expenses that you're going to have. Now, and I may not catch them all, but I'll do the best I can. Let's say you have 2 workers that can cut 3 lawns in an hour, average 20 minutes a lawn, okay? Now for your expenses on this thing, basically your cost, all right? Everything you have costs money. Here's an example. Let's say right from the very beginning, we're going to use your truck. And I'm just going to say $5 here, all right? The reason I'm saying that is because your truck costs you money. It's not free. Your truck isn't free whatsoever. And I'm just saying $5 because we're trying to do a 1 hour time frame. And I'm trying to get you to understand this. So just follow along. You're not buying a truck for $5. You're not buying mowers for $4. But if you can take in increments, because it's almost impossible to say what that amount is going to be, because if I go buy a new truck that's a $50,000 truck, now I may be making, or my expense might be $10 or $15 an hour, because I have that huge balloon payment at the bank every month, okay? Now, if I go buy a used vehicle, I don't have that big problem, okay? I don't have that big balloon payment. You follow? So, on average, just a mid-size everything, which is really the best you can do with this thing, unless you have an accountant with you that's going to go through every detail, okay? Most of you guys will be able to get this. So let's just say your truck is $5, okay? And we're just trying to calculate your expenses here, right? So let's say a mower, because of course they're not going to give away these mowers, right? Let's say that costs you $4, all right? Nobody gives them away. You have to pay money for these things. And if you're paying money for them, you have to get money back. You can't just say, well, I have the whole setup. I'm going out to make money. I don't have these expenses. Yes, you do, because all of those are going downhill. They're depreciating. Every time you mow with them, that motor's only going to take so much. The transmission's only going to take so much before everything starts flying apart and breaking and dies, okay? Same with your truck. Same thing, all right? So let's just say now you have your trimmers, your edgers, and your blowers. Let's just put down $2 for that. So I'm just going to put trimmers, etc. And we're just going to put down, say, $2. Okay. All right. So now, trimmer line, blades, 2-cycle oil, gas cans, and tools. Let me just put miscellaneous tools for all of that kind of stuff. All right. And we just want to throw in, say, a couple of bucks for that. All right. Make it a little easier for you guys to see. All right. Now, let's say you got to haul around a trailer to pull your mowers, which most guys do. You can pick up trailers relatively cheap, okay, somewhat. But I'm just going to say $1 here, okay? So trailers, $1. All right? And again, remember, you're just trying to spread this cost out over the lifetime of that trailer. And it's just an example. It's not 100% accurate, but it's the best I'm going to be able to come up with to teach you what I'm trying to teach you. Let's say fuel. Let's say you use $3 in fuel in that 1 hour. Okay. And again, you may not, but you may use more. Who knows? Now your fixed expenses. Okay. So let's say you pay your people $15 an hour. All right. So times that times an hour. So you got 2 guys working on this job. That's $30, right? So you got labor. You got $30 right here. All right. Okay. Let's say your insurance. You're going to have $5 in that. Be lucky to get away with that. All right. Workman's comp. Probably the same thing. So work comp. $5. All right. Now we're going to talk, say, maintenance. Okay. And when I say maintenance, I mean you guys have got to do the maintenance on this stuff, and that's not free. The electric going in there for you to run your impact wrenches and whatnot, none of that's free. Your tools in that shop aren't free, right? Your lights on in the shop, that's not free. Let's just say $1 an hour for maintenance stuff, because you got to do it at the end of the week no matter what. All right? So maintenance, I'm going to put $1 for that, okay? Now, Social Security and Medicare, okay? Something you absolutely have to pay, regardless. So I'm going to put Social Security, Medicare, and say we charge, I don't know, say like $2 for that, okay? And again, that'll vary depending on how many workers you got, so on and so forth. But just for easy figuring, that's what we're going to stick with. Unemployment, let's say, is $2, okay? And if you're doing everything by the book, you know eventually you're going to have to pay unemployment on these guys, okay? Now let's say your repairs, like your grease, your belts, so on and so forth. Not just those things, but when you have things that are wrong, things that you have to take it to the mower shop for, okay? This is not a easy fix. A lot of times you go in there and it's hundreds of dollars, okay? But let's just break it down, because you need to break it down a little bit so that you have money for these things, okay? So repairs, basic repairs. I'm just going to put $5 down here. And of course, they vary, all right? All right, that being said, so if you add these up, it comes to $67 in expenses, right? So you got a total $67. Okay, now let's say you charge $25 per lawn and you do 3 lawns, okay? So that gives you $75 to work with, okay? You got $75 to work with. 67 was your cost. So if you minus by 67, that is, what is that? So you got $8. Okay. All right. Now, that leaves you $8, right? So 75 minus 67 equals $8, okay? Now you take that times, say, an 8-hour day, times an 8-hour day, 64, right? Okay, $64. Take that times a 5-day week, if you have 5 days of mowing, times 5 days a week, you're at $320. All right? Everybody follow that? $320 a week. That's what you're getting. Okay? You're not making a ton of money here, right? Okay. Now let's say when you look at something like this and you say to yourself, you know, man, I got a couple guys working for me. I got all these headaches and this and that. And I'm like, 320 bucks, that's all I'm making? God, I wish it was a little more, just a little even, you know. Simple enough to do, you guys. And I know what you're going to say, and I've been there. What if you turn around and you raise that, okay? Now let's say you just added $5 to each lawn care account, okay? Each one. So basically it's adding 15 bucks, right? Okay, so now if you add 15 bucks to this, that's going to get you at $79 a day. Okay? All right, so $79 a day times 5 days a week. What does that get you? 395 bucks. That's a little better. Now I can look at this and say, hey, those two guys that are out there working for me, they're making that money. I'm making $400 a week, okay? I like that. I like that a lot better than I like 320, okay? And everybody would like that, of course, right? You want that? I've lost customers over raising them $5. And I'll tell you what, one guy I had for 10 years. I could not believe he got another bid and, you know, dumped us for $5, but whatever. People do that. Those aren't the customers you want anyway, because you don't get extra work off of those people. If they're going to drop you for $5, they're not worth having to begin with. That's just my personal opinion on that. All right? So that's just the variance between the two, okay? That is definitely a little better. Okay, so you're going to have to use your own numbers, of course, all right? I'm going to give you some examples once you get these numbers. Hopefully you understand it. If you look, I've got to pay for all these things. I don't care if you have them or not. You paid money for them or you're going to pay money for them. And even if you got them cheap, when you go to replace them, there's no guarantee you're going to get them that cheap again, right? You're going to pay more for your truck. You're probably going to pay more for the mowers, the trimmers, so on and so forth, right on down the line, right? Okay, get over here. The unemployment, the repairs, all that stuff. It's all going to happen. And the older your equipment gets, the more you are going to have in repairs, right? Everybody understands that. Now, let's say you look at your numbers. And this is where most businesses, again, get into trouble. If you're not making a lot of money, okay, and it doesn't have to be a killer amount of money. If you're okay at the $395 range or you're okay at this $320 range, good for you. If you're making enough money, you're paying your bills, you get ahead a little bit, hey, if you're happy, you're happy. But if you're not happy with it, you better make some changes, okay? I'm going to give you some examples, and these are just examples, okay? I'm going to use my vape shop as an example for the very first one, okay? When I opened my first store, I said to myself, I'm going to take a shot at this, going to take a gamble. I stuck some money into it, and I did. Now let's just say, for example, that, and again, these are all fictitious numbers, but let's just say I make $1,000 a week out of that. After I've deducted all of my expenses, that store makes me $1,000 a week. Okay, so at the end of the year, it's $52,000 that store makes me. And I really don't have to be there all that much. That would be a good investment, wouldn't you say? Yep, exactly. So, what do I do with that? I start another store, okay? You expect the same result, right? Maybe even better, depends on the community, you never know. Or it could get worse, you never know. Everything is a gamble in life. But I'll tell you what, having this, knowing your numbers, if you do this and you say, my God, man, it's no wonder that, you know, at the end of the year, which everybody, there's so many guys out there that do this, and it drives me crazy. They'll wait till the end of the year just to see how much money's in the bank, and that's how they determine whether or not they're making money. And almost every single year, these people come out and they're frustrated because, God, there's no money, we're out of money, and you're a month away from season, or you're 2 months away from season. You're out money before you can even get more coming back in through the cash flow system, right? You've gotten all this. You only had $320 to begin with, you know. And again, this is, you know, fictitious numbers, but get the idea, guys. If you're not making enough money with this, you have to make some changes. I've said this a million times. Change does not happen unless you make changes. If you have these numbers, you can make these changes. If you don't have these numbers and you don't understand how to get them, okay, It's because of it's financial illiteracy is what it is. You need to know what your numbers are. If you don't have these numbers, you have nothing to go by. If you're trying to go by what's in the bank, forget it. That's a horrible way to go about any business, okay? You got to know these numbers. So let's use another example. Let's say landscaping. For all you landscapers out there, obviously there's a lot better money in landscaping than there is in lawn care. A lot more risk, a lot more expense, so on and so forth. But you can tally those things up. Okay, I have a skid steer payment of $700 a month. You know, maybe I have a backhoe payment of $700 a month. And it goes on and on and on and on. I mean, you're going to have a list of expenses that are much higher than what lawn care is. But at the end of the day, the payout's better, okay? So if I would have just stayed just in lawn care, and we still are in lawn care, and quite heavily, if I would have stayed just in that and nothing else, I'm only going to make a certain amount of money. If this is your scale, all right, that's your scale, and I'm in lawn care right here. Well, actually, let's do this. I don't even want to put lawn care up there. Let's put it down here. Lawn care is only going to make you X amount of money, okay? That's what it's going to make you. The bigger you get in it, now lawn care might get you more money, right? Now you might add landscaping to the mix because it fits right in with what you're doing. Okay? Now you're going to make even more money. So let's say you add pest control to the mix. Okay? You add that to your list of services. What are you going to get? More money, right? Make sense? Okay. Now, the lawn care example, making money or not, that's a decision you have to make. The best time for you to make that decision is, of course, when you come into the winter and you look at all your numbers from the end of the year. That's when you get a true, accurate reading. But you can do that right now before your season even starts. You can tear into this, look at your taxes, look at your expenses, look at the real expenses, and be honest with yourself when you look at these numbers, okay? This is why it is so important to know your numbers, you guys, all right? I wish you guys the best of luck. If this video was at all helpful to you, please click the like button down below. Don't forget to subscribe. And I want you guys to succeed. Know your numbers. That will help you succeed. Okay? Thanks for watching.